Welcome back. A little bit of a surprise that we did have the result on Inferno, but I think that sAw might be back to winning ways, or at least looking to be back to winning ways. Eyeballers could not have seen this Nuke pick coming, and even if they did, I don't think they will have too much experience in playing this one out.
Yeah, previously their permaban moved to Anubis, and yeah, Nuke has not been a very strong uptake as of yet. Nice new meta smoke implemented by sAw here in this pistol round when the water falls down into main, but they're getting gunned down on the cross. There were 3 players already out and looking to take that fight, but re-diverting over towards ramp they go into Heap's dualies. Him getting 2, and the flash is there as well. They cannot trade onto Heap. There is now too many players here to greet them. They have the bomb as well. So this pistol round has blown up in smoke for sAw.
Well, look, if there's going to be one way to upset, it's getting the pistol round win and trying to snowball off of that. Roman and Story could honestly just hope to get a little bit more money to take forward with them. You've got to die. But yeah, let's see whether they can actually get a couple more kills. No, Shine already taking one down as Roman is switching out guns. It is a very clean round coming through from the Eyeballers. 2 of their players also getting to keep full Kevlar, so that's really nice for them actually. This is going to be a very strengthened economy despite only the pistol round having passed.
Yeah, it feels like a small difference, but one that does certainly help your finances. You want to get out rifles, especially if you're going to be playing outside, for example. You know, the inner players and the ramp player can maybe get away with having an SMG, but you want the extra utility to boot alongside it. It's a nice round to farm up some extra cash as well. Not missing out on that head armor will be imperative versus the Glocks.
So I'm also checking out for how much Eyeballers have actually played Nuke recently, because obviously we did the same for Inferno. I think it's only fair to see. They did get destroyed recently by Spirit, 13-3. That was in the Challenger League as well, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised if they end up losing this one. But in the past, they haven't really played it all that much in the past few weeks, so, you know, maybe there's something new to come out of it. They've only played it once in CS2. So, yeah.
Oh, that was a very chunky nade. So Heap is just lapping them up. A full ace on the Glock round from Heap in at ramp. Sure, there was aggression elsewhere on the map. You know, JW saw a player outside, but that piece of utility, Heap just continuing to fight. Yeah, he's rewarded for his effort. Ready off to a flying start.
Indeed. And of course, speaking of flying stars, something we did not discuss so far is about the group that Eyeballers and sAw are actually in. And sAw has been off to a very good start. They're 2-1. Their only losses being but we're gonna have to wait about that for a while later. Mura starts off with a kill onto Pepzor. Sapek goes by undetected though. He knows there's a second stage player around here, but when the dual Story returns fire.
Already forcing the rotates. Heap gave up on ramp after the aggression outside, and at the moment sAw reinvestigating that area of the map. May have been very audible on that rotation. Heap was very quick to reinforce inner. This is a sacrifice they have to make, and now losing JW, this does turn into a priority save kind of situation. Lost control of outside, no control of ramp. Unless you can get a quick kill in from ramp, this round is pretty much done for.
Yeah, beyond maybe sAw making a mistake and giving over a kill for free or anything like that, which helps Eyeballers make up a decision to go in for this, yeah, this should just be a save. And Eyeballers aren't even setting up for anything like that. So, alright. Nice opening kill from Muterus, but Story's being left alive too much.
Yeah, I think the one thing that will change quite a lot, and I'd love, you know, Shine's position in at ramp was quite a strong one. But Nuke is actually one of the maps that feels very susceptible to almost getting ninja'd, really, because the bomb radius is large enough on this map. You know, the bomb can only be planted A or B, and they're in the same portion of the map, so you have to vacate quite far to make sure you don't get blown up by that bomb. see how much damage they take in what was a conventional safe position in CSGO. So having to leave the bomb site sooner rather than later does open up a potential timing for CTs to insert themselves if they have a kit, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to think of it as an injury anymore. You could literally have last-second diffuse strats being created, right? Like we saw that in FaZe in a 2v4. Even though there was, I can't remember who they were against, but even though there was a player left behind from the T side to actually try and prevent the ninja from happening, Rops just got the kill over there, and then Roki gets a defuse while that's going on, right? So you need to dedicate more than just even the one resource sometimes. So yeah, it's definitely a big risk.
Now, still always remember where Adam got away with one of those against, I think in Pro League.
Yeah.
Against Ents, just by throwing that strategy, and that was in CSGO. So, you know, even that as an exploration in Go wasn't really tested all too much. It's very gimmicky, but can work.
It does feel like Nuke's one of those maps where blowing open nades is going to be seeing so much more use. That nade from Heap didn't look like it's supposed to go that deep, but hey, he's going to be happy with the damage it's dealt if he is able to find a kill off the back of it. Pepsor story leans in, and Pepsor's found the frag. Makes it look easy.
He's spotted, but he's hanging around in a ramp. HE will do a little bit of tag damage to him, but he will fall back into the sanctuary of the bomb site. Meanwhile, Sapek's been able to deal with Muterus on his lurk. So ramp is all they had, and now they dart back over towards lobby into the A bomb site, which has been left vacant by the eyeballers. There will be a quick rotate, though. JW in from main, finding the damage, and a player emerging from the vents in Sapek, who finds himself a hat trick of frags in the round. Eyeballers in with another gun round, and they're up to a 3-1 start.
I mean, JW and Sapek play that really nicely, but I have to say, I have no idea what Pepsar is doing there. Just the fact that he comes out, takes first contact, don't know if he was trying to delay, trying to get information, whatever he's going for, but it does feel like you have to wait for JW to get into a position where he can take a fight with you, rather than just die like that. So, yeah, a little bit of help from up above, I suppose, but still very nicely played from JW and Sapek at least.
Yeah, Pepsor jumped up the vent, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he just straight came out, which is wild.
Yeah, it's a crazy play, but it also did, I think, set up Sapek to come up from vent at the same time, right? So,
I mean, he came out afterwards into a smoke, so.
Yes, no, that's what I mean, though. Like, after they kill the first guy and there's that smoke down, it's like nobody else takes that risk, but, you know, I think Pepsor is just willing to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, then they remember we're playing against the eyeballers. Damn it, they're gonna take that risk.
Yeah, they love a risker too.
I will say I've been very pleasantly surprised by how many teams actually made it through relegation this season. There's actually quite a few of them, right? So we've seen like a lot of relatively newer faces. Yes. Forget sometimes.
We're in the group stage / phase.
Yes. Heap right now is in his dead phase. I've heard of villain arcs, I've heard of hero arcs, I've not heard of death arcs. That might be the next thing. Pepsor, though, finds Userix, avenges Heap initially, gives them the advantage as well, and with, you know, a grenade still available for JW if they want to come down to any shenanigans, this would be the time. While the smokes are up and the bomb is being planted, Sapek, though, can't trail forward. There's a Molotov differentiating him, and although there will be a double swing, he only had to fight up with one. Pepsor turns it around as well, so back to a 4 on 2, and it just keeps on falling. JW finishes off the remaining two players. Great retake, not a single player lost.
Yeah, really good identification as well about what information sAw were working off of in that retake. JW slow walking from hell to ramp, while all of his teammates are being very loud and proud about their rotations. sAw thought they only had to worry about Secret and the vents as a potential avenue of attack. They knew that there were still players in proximity from decon to double doors, so they could never really push too far forward, and all attentions were diverted into those lanes in the B bomb site instead of worrying about the ramp flank, which JW firmly occupied. So, nicely done. So in some very uncomfortable positions already. Eastside Star has not gotten off to the electric opening that we can sometimes see. Into the smoke on the cross and the first one didn't reveal anything, but now JW just finding frags on the cross. There was already a player that made his way down, so Arozdosh inside of those vents, trying to be tricky with it. I think sApeg is considering that as a possibility.
The day changes do make it feel like the outside smokes are just so much weaker, though, right? Because you've got the Molotov that was always there that can, you know, buy out 7 seconds or so, but the fact that you can throw over a grenade to pop both of them open for 3 full seconds, that's basically 10 seconds that one player can take away from, like, the usability of those smokes. That's really high.
It's almost a shame that the rest of the Soul squad didn't make the journey like Arozdosh did on the first across, because he went by scot-free. No nade smoke shenanigans revealed him, but the rest of the squad were delaying for those HEs, and they get caught. Yeah, I think of the maps, you know, I think Nuke is top priority for HEs. I think Mirage is another one. I think Anubis, there's some good use cases. I think there's certainly some maps that don't feel as, like, the change doesn't feel as it's going to affect the meta too much.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Inferno. I feel like Nuke and Inferno are probably like top 2 for it.
I think it's just more about, like, a collection of smokes being dispersed that has its highest strength, but yeah, that Molotov almost burning sApeg out of position. He had a little bit of a singe, but he's fine.
He's having his MC Hammer moment. Can't dust this. Ah! I'm pretty sure that's what MC Hammer would say if he was under his fire instead. But Molotov's got some great timing. Pepstar's got a nade, but nowhere nearby to actually open these up. Walk past, and as this smoke starts to waver, JW might be looking to get a push from behind. Now, they are facing back over. I think his gun barrel might have just stuck. True story. Felt like he was way too wise about where the man was.
Yeah, that's a position where the A4 maybe treats him a little bit better, because that barrel may have just emerged through that smoke. 2-man advantage and into B, but there are 2 players here already, as well as a rotate from Shine on ramp. Finding the first, but now Shine revealing his hand. They are going to dive up those vents. The bomb's already making its way up from secret, and they instead converge on the A-bomb site. So a good call, a good read in what was happening in that mid-round. Eyeballers flustered about a B-bomb site take, but some of those tricks, some of those moves that the Eyeballers are going for are pretty heavy risk and high reward, and they will not be rewarded this time over.
So, Michael, I don't really have an opinion on this so far, so you know what, I'm sure you do, so enlighten me on what you think about this. The M4A1, it feels like the tracers not existing doesn't matter anymore, to be honest, because obviously the smoke is still made, you can still tell pretty well about where the direction's coming from. Do you think that's a substantial nerf, or it doesn't matter?
I think it is a substantial nerf. I'm actually with you on that. I actually think the A4 is a better weapon than it was in Go, simply because people haven't really quite figured out the way to get spraying to feel good in CS2 just yet. So your average time to kill, or your average bullets expended per person, has gone up on average, I think. So the A1S having a lower bullet count is a nerf. Sure, it's cheaper. Maybe you're only expecting to get 1 or 2 in a spot, especially at pro level play, so maybe it doesn't affect it as much. But the smokes, yeah, I do think the A1S doesn't feel as powerful as it once did. The tracers are also just kind of a little harder to see.
Yeah. There's Dodge. Oh, he tried to go all the way in, but JW is just ready for him now. Inside the vents he goes, so you cannot come down. sApeg as well, burning down the hut to just try and fight away. We've seen him dance with fire, but now he's dancing with sAw, and he seems to be stepping on all their toes. Maybe not the best ballroom etiquette, but it's what we want to see in Counter-Strike 4 versus 2. sAw are falling apart. A fast play that they tried to make, but one that has completely fallen by the wayside.
Ooh, surprised Udrix gets away with that fight. Already tagged from earlier exchanges. Bomb on back, and at least a path that he can carve out towards B. There is already a fast rotate, but sApeg has him dialed in. And sApeg with another 3K. Had one earlier on when there was a lot of presence on B, dove up those vents, had a lot of impact, and Now in with another 3k to prevent sAw from getting much of anything done in that gun round.
2 timeouts used in the first half. sAw are looking a little bit, fraught.
You haven't even seen anything crazy happen outside aside from HEing smokes. You know, it's been these rampant inner hits that have been the more difficult hurdle to pass, I think, for sAw. Yeah, they're actually winning some of these fights outside on occasion. That's where the successes stem from. I do wonder whether they're going to try and fixate on that area of the map to just see if they can find what works the best. They're not coming in with the most pristine buy, 2 Tech 9s, 3 AKs, so maybe adding some extra pace could be a part of the playbook.
Tavix considering it. Goes right down over to the vents himself, and now the question is... sAw, who looked like they wanted to accelerate for an upper hit, they have paused. They've called it. sApek now waits around the flashes. He's got the first one for free. No one coming in to give more backup for arrows though. So although Roman's found a kill of his own, they can't drop down. pepsAw trying to use sApek's body as cover once again. And now pepsAw out in the open. Gonna have sApek return the favor that he himself delivered earlier on.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, because it did feel like a little bit of give and take, you know? I baited for you once upon a time, now you fight, die, endure, and I'll find kills right after the fact, because they're, again, not expecting that player to re-rotating through those vents so quickly. They didn't know that he cheated that rotate down, and, yeah, sAw get caught off guard. So many smokes down a door, I mean, it was chaotic. It was actually a surprise that sApek survived for as long as he did. I'm not really sure what sAw do here. This was a map that famously on their come up before the online era really struck in full force, that I think they beat Vitality on? Right? I think that was
a long time ago.
That was a very long time ago, but I remember, you know, us talking about them and that being...
You remember being flamed by the fans with me.
No, I just remember the fans bringing it up a lot.
Well... the fans might want to forget this one. Maybe that's why we were having so many tech issues in the beginning, so we could like phase all the fans out. Their hearts aren't going to be broken from that.
I think it's just interesting because I think this team on paper, like the players that are here on sAw, while they may have less of a history within the Portuguese or Iberian scene, I think this team has more more talent. I think it's like more potential. So the Eyeballers putting them to rest here on a map that sAw picked into very willingly, and you know what was once upon a time Eyeballers permaban.
Yeah,
is a little harrowing.
I'll say this. I think sAw's 5-man lineup on paper should be the best team in the Iberian region now that Senpai is in the part of Movistars.
Yeah, I think that's fairly reasonable as well.
But if these performances are going to go on, then it's not going to be enough. Eyeballers, they look revived in CS2. They're looking very good right now. Every one of their players seems to be a threat. Shine's making some good calls, and JW 11 for 2. What more could you ask for?
Oh man, this time Shine's the one that instigates the action, just pushing into HUD and finding an opening kill.
Sometimes the best goal is one dead.
Yeah, and they hadn't really seen pepsAw cheating in towards the lower side or trying to get to the secret stairs too frequently as of yet, so this should be a complete surprise that he's here.
Well, pepsAw's got another 1v1 right now, and a grenade to help him out is certainly nice. Roman all alone will find one, but JW can finish him off with another nade. 4 alive, economy is great, 9-2, Eyeballers. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we might have another 10-2 half, huh?
On paper, we should.
Now, translating their good graces and all their hard work into T side can be a little bit of a difficulty, but when you have a 10-2 lead, you may not need to have to work that hard. Win a pistol round,
Yeah.
and suddenly you're at the finish line.
It's like being born with a trust fund.
You've got some advantage. Still need to do some legwork, but most of the hard work's done.
W. Giving Muris a reason to do some body work. He's got a big hole inside him. 5 versus 2 could have been what we saw, but Udrix instead has turned things around off the back of a miss. Now this does give them a window because Vepsor is going to try and get aggressive, but his aggression is rewarded. Wide swings galore, 10-2. Once again, that's a score as we head over to a break before we see that second half. Ten-2 magic off today for eyeballers, and I can't say that sAw feel the same way. I'm sure they have been left reeling. Not sure about what exactly has happened to them. And if you look at the scoreboard, the fact that the highest death count on the eyeballers is 5 says a lot.
Oh my goodness, what is going on? The player's on top of Roman's head, but it's a flurry of frags, and they have at least stabilized somewhat here on the eyeballers. Tried to make the cross, but that bomb dropped out in the open. Another player still playing close inside of main, while Shine goes to work creeping out of HUD. JW has to try and buy time, divert attentions for as long as possible, but Shine has been sussed out. So that was the one ace up the sleeve, the one trick that they had left available. This is looking like a sAw pistol.
Should be. A little bit extra damage coming out from JW, but that doesn't really help them at all. Alright, so same as what we saw in Inferno, so I'll do at least win out the pistol round, so we aren't going to have an immediate wash. The question is, can the CT side of Nuke be one of the 2009 ones where you get 10 rounds in a row on a comeback? That's a question.
Yeah, I do think this map is going to lean more CT favored with the way that, the smoke's going to be blown open, the wall, the outside cross is just so much more perilous than it ever was. It is going to see a little bit of a shift, but I think the way teams have counteracted it is just by attacking upper more frequently, which I don't think sAw did too much of in that first half. I wonder whether eyeballers have that up their sleeves. This is not a round in which we should expect that. Of course, they only are on Glocks. Not even a hazarded P250 do some damage. They are being conservative with their cash. They know they've got a big lead and no reason to blow it on small purchases.
I will say, any meta where Nuke becomes more CT-sided and not as a result of just guns being overpowered, I like that meta. Well, easy peasy. Not quite as efficient with the kills as maybe you'd like to see with 3 SMGs coming through, but still, they found their value.
But this is where the real trial comes. Now they're against full rifles, and they've got MP9s out in spades. And I know CS2 is, there has been a lot of talk about wide swinging and the efficiency of these SMGs at accomplishing these kinds of rounds. I think with just so many long-range fights, it will be quite difficult to make this an effective hold.
Very late addition to that second smoke on outside walls. I wonder if that's actually in response to the possibility of it being naded open or anything like it, but obviously not something we will be discussing. What a shot from Ujerks, beautiful stuff. And now there's a follow-up flash as well. Ujerks wants to continue fighting it out. He's got the backup of Story. And as he goes down, eyeballers are losing members left and right, and there's nothing they're getting in return. Shine. A kill that really shouldn't lead to much. He can't even make his way down to lower. Trying to turn back around and see if he can get a kill on the flanker, a flanker who will never come. Aristotle is just patiently holding and jiggling that angle.
Yeah, Shine's not had a crazy individual game, but you can see how much sAw are giving him this amount of respect. Hasn't been a good day at the office for a lot of players on the squad, but between Ujerks and Story, they do lock out that ramp hit. Eyeballers get left wanting as Ujerks honestly fumbled a lot of his utility, didn't get his smoke to hit where he wanted it to. The flash was a little bit awkward, but still enough for Story to lap them up on the rotate. So a really, really well called move there from Story to get there in time to support his ramp player. Anderson with pistols, and they do have a smoke available. The problem is that they're not going to be able to use it for much of anything. Not sure where it's destined for, just the waterfall into main. Does deny a lot of information here from Uterus, but they cannot journey to secret. Well, maybe that was never the intention. They just try and walk through the main smoke right into Roman and Uterus's arms.
Riz, shooting out, Sam spawn as well, and yep. I have to say I'm very impressed with how many players sAw are keeping alive, not just the fact that they're winning these rounds. This is looking really, really good.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. Thank goodness for sAw. Need this for the confidence. Even if this is a lost effort, potentially, this is a very difficult game for them to really turn around completely. There will be a round where you get caught on a timing. You might lose out to a rush. Those are things that are bound that can and maybe will happen on a CT side. But I just don't think that their confidence is that high given the way that Inferno went and the start of this nuke has gone. They need this for themselves, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it harms their chances too much of making it into playoffs, or at least avoiding relegation. You know, I don't think they can fight for the top position. Spirit in their group have been indomitable. You know, I present evidence as donk, and I elaborate no further. Really risky position from U-Jerks. Pushed through his ramp smoke into Trophy, and actually commands a lot of space that the Eyeballers are not going to occupy or even hazard the glance for. That's because they've got so much presence towards outside. Even sneaking Heap down the vents, even though they lose Sapek. This is a very worrisome sign here for sAw on the defense. It's all about whether they can make this journey, make this cross to link up with Heap or not. One player at the Lonely Box, Ice Cube, whatever you want to call it, Story dealt with by that AWP, but they knew that there was one more player nearby outside, and JW wants to hunt for this frag. A fresh smoke in its side of main, and Muter is sussed out. Now they have the opportunity to wrap in through heaven if they so choose, but that B bomb site has been rather vacant, and a Rose Dosh just falls right into Heap's hands. The perfect position to capitalize on that rotate. A 4-on-2, make that just now 3 as U-Jerk still clamoring away, and Heap can't hold on to that position for all too long. Pepzor found as well on the Roman trade, but JW's got him locked in with the AWP. It is an absolute scrap, but the Eyeballers pull through with their first T-side round. A very, very scary development. sAw didn't really know how to rotate with all that outside presence, all those kills that were found, and they never knew about Heap in the vents. So that one bit of sleight of hand, sleight of foot, I suppose, for Heap to get down those vents is really the linchpin on that round.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it, right? There's always going to be that one round where a rush catches you off, something catches you off, and unfortunately, that's a round where it feels like the pressure just switches. Now, can sAw keep control? Muter is spotting out a gun barrel, but he hasn't realized it. I don't think he registered it. He's just running away as fast as he can for now.
Yeah, I think he realized as he dropped off of those boxes, like, that was a gun I saw, but didn't want to stick around and find out if there was more than just that one player lingering around that corner. They're doubled at ramp, and right at the moment, Eyeballers are prepped for a ramp hit.
That hit comes through with a great kill initially. Shine's got to follow up as well, although U-Jerks tried to get aggressive, but now with 2 players being lost, the only man who can actually reinforce lower is Muteris. He's asked for a bit more company. Roman will provide it, but keep in mind that Sapek's still outside on the lurk, and as JW is going to be moving past Aristosh. They've moved past each other completely. Aristosh is going to have no information, but as soon as they start making noise, now he'll know. Shine does fall, but that's a sacrifice that they're willing to make if that means they can trade. Shine's death might be the reason why they end up taking this round away, but whatever the reason it may be, Eyeballers are taking it for sure.
Yeah, you need to save this gun as well if you're Muteris. You know, you just don't have a full reinforced buy. This will be the second stage loss bonus. And every little will help, but Eyeballers are at that finish line. A 12-6 score, and Muteris may not even be allowed to save his rifle. Pepzor is still on the hunt and finds great timing. Muteris concerned about so many angles at ramp. They will come into this round with no extra rifles to drop over. Roman and Story will be shortchanged, while sAw will try and mount a comeback where there can be no more mistakes.
God, this buy is going to be nightmarish. Now, listen, the XM's great. That's not the thing that I'm going to point out. The point is that they have 2 incendiaries on Nuke. One of those is likely going to be used immediately, just to prevent anyone from coming out from Squeaky. That you just have to deploy it. Yep, there you go. Muteris has used his flash, molly, smoke. It's going to be a difficult time. JW as well is just trying to get aggressive outside using just the AWP advantage that he knows he's going to have. First kill found, and although there is a return through Muteris' grenade, They're going to keep on getting aggressive outside. They know where Muris was. He can't go all the way back to the locker room. And although there's a shotgun nearby, Muris has lost his life and Roman can't take long-range duels. He takes a great timing to sneak through that ramp smoke, and U-Jerks will find a kill in the meanwhile. But that kill is traded away by Heap's positioning, and it is fantastic. He's going to be able to find that second frag. There's the first frag for him, but that second frag on outside nearby Muris' corpse. And now you're right back to a 3-on-2. These CTs have got no idea what's going to hit them.
U-Jerks has got to be kicking himself. The fact that he was so fast on his heels. They just have so much map control. They are really banking on finding a multi-kill via Rose Dosh. Roman is at least stopping them from wrapping back through ramp. But Eyeballers are stopping and freezing. They know that sAw want a fight to somehow come to them. They're going to hunt in some capacity, and it's via that shotgun that Roman's reinvestigating through hell, but he'll miss out on a timing. Might find Sapek in the back if he's quick enough, but they're wrapping in towards this A bomb site. Roman finds his kill, but they know exactly where Roman's coming in from. A nade to greet him as well. They've got another one to follow that up as he switches to that rifle. They need another miracle Roman clutch. Nade with just making things difficult, and Shine will punch it in. Another 13-6 scoreline. Eyeballers taking the series 2-0 in what is a big underdog win, really. I think sAw were firmed in as favorites coming into this group as one of maybe the top 2, top 3 teams, and Eyeballers made them look silly.